So how many of you got 8 hours of sleep last night? 7 hours? 6 hours? Did you get any sleep last night? Okay, well, I want to show you a diagram. All right. Now, this is a diagram of college students. You have your good grades, your social life, and your enough sleep. Now, you can only choose two, and that's what I've learned from personal experience and through observations of lots of kids around Carroll. All right, so today I want to talk to you about sleep deprivation and the effects of it. And this is very applicable to us because college students have extremely demanding schedules, and we are at high risk for sleep deprivation. In my speech today, I'm going to talk to you about what sleep deprivation is and some of the things that cause it, and then I'm going to tell you about how it affects your grades and your health, and finally, one of the most significant effects it's had on our generation so far. Okay, so everybody has had that night when you're staying up till 2 in the morning and you're studying for a test. And the question is, how much of this can you handle before it becomes a real problem? Without even realizing it, you might just be sleep deprived. Okay, so what is sleep deprivation? Sleep deprivation, according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, is failing to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. So some popular causes of that are long work hours, personal obligations, medical problems, and probably the most prevalent at Carroll, poor time management. Okay, so now that you know what sleep deprivation is and what causes it, here are some effects. So, an effect of no sleep that's likely most concerning for us as college kids is the toll that it takes on our grades. Ironically, though the reason that we often ignore our bedtimes is to squeeze in some extra study time, that might actually be a counterproductive process. In 2009, American and French researchers discovered something called sharp wave ripples. Sharp wave ripples are responsible for consolidating memory in your brain, and they also transfer the information you've learned into your neocortex, which is the part of the brain that stores your long-term memories. So when you're studying something and you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to be able to store it in your neocortex. So it's basically impossible for you to do well on a test the next day if you get no sleep, because you're not going to retain any of your information. According to a study done at Harvard Medical School, it shows that after a good night's sleep, or even just a short nap, people tend to perform significantly better on tests, in the workplace, athletic field, and musically. These are effects that are very relevant to all of us, but there are a lot more significant effects of sleep deprivation. So here's some health effects according to WebMD. Short-term, anxiety, forgetfulness, distractibility, personal relationships, especially with your significant other. And some long-term ones are heart problems. There's a lot of heart problems. Heart attacks, high blood pressure, heart failure, strokes. It can also lead up to diabetes, weight gain, and overall just a poor quality of life. So getting not enough sleep turns out to be a lot more serious than we typically regard it to be. The most detrimental effect, however, is drowsy driving. Alright, so here you go. We're in probably the 18 to 29 category, and we're at the highest risk of drowsy driving. It's been estimated that almost half of all accidents in the United States are influenced by sleep deprivation. In a recent study by Harvard Medical School again, it's discovered that 250,000 drivers fall asleep at the wheel every single day, which is so many. And in addition, there's about 100,000 crashes, 40,000 injuries, and over 1,500 deaths due to drowsy driving in our country every single year. There's even been a Mythbusters episode dedicated to figuring out whether drowsy driving was more destructive than tipsy driving. So in this experiment, there's 2 subjects, and both of the subjects accumulate a blood alcohol level of 0.08%. And then they have to complete a test course, and their results are recorded, and then the same 2 subjects didn't get sleep for 30 hours and tried to complete the exact same test course, And they compared the results, and it turned out that both subjects did significantly worse on the test without getting enough sleep, as opposed to tipsy driving. So now that you have been informed on the biggest issue of sleep deprivation, we can go back over my main points. Sleep deprivation is something that all of us college kids deal with, and it can have huge effects on all of us, whether they are emotional, mental, or physical. That being said, it's important that we all get the recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, and that we are especially careful about not driving when drunk.